Hello and welcome to a look at Shinobi for the Amiga, a Sega arcade original that was converted and released by Virgin. The plot of Shinobi is the usual yada yada, completely blah plot that these kind of games get. Something that sounds like it could have been read off the wall of a public toilet in the seedier part of town. That's perhaps a bit harsh, but the plot is that you are the senior student extraordinaire of some ninja school thing. And on the same day that the ninja children students are to graduate, a former top student extraordinaire comes around and he's turned to the dark ways, so he's evil, naughty, nasty, and he casts a spell that freezes everyone on the spot, and then he kidnaps all the children and will only release them if he gets a certain amount of gold. There's a deadline for paying the gold, and if not, he will start killing out children, and that of course is a minor concern compared to having to fork out the gold. So you are deciding that you should probably go and rescue said children, because it would upset the parents if the gold had to be paid and the school would go broke, so it had to merge with the samurai school, which would be unheard of course. Yeah, as I said, the plot is not exactly brilliant. But you are navigating several different levels in order to rescue the children, and if you look at the bottom left corner of the screen, there's a number, or there's an amount of faces indicating the children you'll have to rescue per level, and then locate the exit and move on to the next level. When you rescue the children, the initial ones will just give you point bonuses, but then you will start getting an upgrade to your shurikens. And instead of throwing shurikens, you will be firing a gun, which is of course slightly more powerful than the shurikens. If you should die on a level, it will reset the children's release, but it won't set you back to the start of the level, so any children you have already rescued will not be rescuable again, if that's a word. It is now. So you cannot necessarily get certain upgrades. At the end of each stage there's a boss fight. In the case of this guy throwing semi-homing fireballs at you, he can only be hit in the eyes, and because you have a ninja magic, because of course, I mean, what would a ninja be without ninja magic? You have one use of said ninja magic per level, and using it against the boss will do 3 points of damage. So use it to finish this level. After having completed the level, you will gain access even to a bonus level where you can earn an extra life by defeating all the ninjas that are jumping towards you, trying to spook you by yelling in your face. And you have an extraordinary amount of shurikens that you can toss at the ninjas jumping towards you, and this bonus level isn't particularly difficult, and the fact that it takes about a minute to complete I find to be extremely long, far too long actually for what it gives you. Now, let's talk technical aspects, because of course they have some importance. I can't remember what I've seen in the arcade version, but I have definitely seen the Sega Master System version of this game, which of course is an 8-bit console and not necessarily a good reference point, but I mean, it was a game that was made by Sega themselves for their own machine. From an arcade they produced themselves, so they probably had some sort of idea of what they were making. But regardless, the graphical side of things in the Amiga version of Shinobi is a bit lifeless, to say the least. It's probably an exaggeration to say that you wouldn't notice much difference if you were playing this game on a black and white monitor, but in truth that is definitely the case. The color choices are not exactly spectacular, and the color use is not exactly spectacular either. The main graphics, the main character and enemies is distinctively average and semi-bland. And of course the fact that the movement of set graphics is not exactly the most smooth ever seen in any game ever, which doesn't help. The backgrounds are okay, but they are just a bit bland. It's again a case of serving its purpose and not much besides that. The sound effects are decent quality. Nothing out of the ordinary. When you kill stuff, and sounds when you pick up stuff, and sounds when you die, and sounds when you make sounds, and that kind of stuff. The musical side of things is also quite decent. I do like the different tunes. I'm not necessarily saying that all of them are of an equal quality, but the music is definitely not horrible. There's a certain amount of speech in the game, which is a nice little touch, of course, but I find that the speech sounds a bit like someone decided to mix the speech with the sound of someone putting a teaspoon in a blender. It has a certain coarseness sound to it that I'm not necessarily a huge fan of. The controls are okay. Left to move left, right to move right, up to jump. If you press up and fire, it will change level, unless there's some sort of barrier that will prevent you from changing level. And of course you have to do the same to get down again. Some harshness has been levied towards this conversion, and I suppose it is in part justified. But the gameplay is sound. I mean, it's not exactly the most challenging gameplay mechanics in the world. You navigate some levels, you kill some bad guys, you rescue some hostages of some description. But while not necessarily the most advanced gameplay in the world, it is solid. It works. It's perfectly acceptable, serviceable, enjoyable. But a game of this kind badly needs good quality graphics and sound to enhance the gameplay. The sound is passable, but the graphics are definitely not. And even though I am harping on about the fact that graphics and sound will not make a game, they can definitely enhance the game, and that enhancement is not present in the Amiga version of Shinobi. This is a bit sad. Thanks for watching, take care, see you next time, bye bye.